it's a lovely day out here, but who have we got here? Crying her eyes out, aren't you? Crying her eyes out, yes. It's a lovely day, but by golly, we've got some stock of wind. I'm going to put my glasses on, it's a bit bright here. It's very, very windy, and every now and again you get to hear the gusts blow right through. So I'll turn you around. My garden's not looking fantastic, but I thought I might turn you around. It's just a piddly little garden. Can you hear that wind? Anyway, I'll turn you around. Everything's blowing away in the wind. That's windy by our standards. It'll be a mild wind by your standards in America, where you get hurricanes and gales and things. We do get the odd gale, but never as bad as in America. So yes, it's a windy day. It keeps coming in what we would call squalls, coming and going every now and again, and suddenly getting very strong. And that's when you hear my jingle jangles. I've got a few jangly things around the garden. I do like to hear the jangles. I like the noise of them, and I have a lot of solar lights here for when the summer comes and we're sat outside having a drink. Nothing spectacular in this little garden, but it's my little domain, the area I love to be in. Look at those trees over there blowing. Wow. We're missing quite a bit of it down here. Hi everybody, this is the 2nd of April, and I've got to look there, must remember to look there. 2nd of April, and I did a little vlog yesterday and a vlog the day before, but I still haven't got round to putting it together because I was doing our accounts yesterday. So I shall try and get them uploaded today if I can, fingers crossed. Just very quickly for today's vlog, I'm just going through some of my comments, and some people said that they liked it when I did comments. One of them is from Kirsten Jacob. I would say Jacob rather than Jacob, but Jacob is the way I'm going to pronounce it. And Kirsten, you can tell me off if I'm saying it wrong. Anyway, Kirsten has said that Blueprint Patterns, Blueprint, which used to be Craftsy, is offering free classes until the 16th of April. And I actually have registered to Blueprint, but I saw it the other day where it was offering you to do a free register. And I did that, but I never went in, I never had time to go any further to see what was on offer. And it's basically, she has said, I highly recommend full bust adjustment to any pattern by Jenny Rushmore. Now, Jenny is the cashmerette pattern lady, that lovely young girl who does patterns for larger sizes. So yes, I think I shall tippy-lappy along to there, if you know what tippy-lappy means. I keep coming up with little saying, and somebody said, oh, I can't remember what the other word was. Somebody made a comment about it, fuddy-duddy. Somebody said, I bet you American people don't know what fuddy-duddy is. So if you don't, do let me know. Anyway, I'm going to tippy-lappy along to that sometime today and have a look at Jenny's full bust adjustment. Very quickly, somebody says, can you make a hat? Yes, I shall show you the pattern for making a hat. I have made hats in the past, but I haven't made any recently. So yes, that might be a nice idea. Very quickly, let me just tell you, this is going to be the last thing I say about masks. I've actually, oh no, that's not it. Hold on, that's not the piece of paper I want. It's this piece. This piece of paper here, I actually printed it off from something that was it was by Disaster Medical Public Health Prep, and it's from 2013. It was called Testing the Efficacy of Homemade Masks. Would they protect in an influenza pandemic? Now, this was from 2013, so this is well before the coronavirus. And it says, oh, hang on, my finger's hurting. I'm holding this on a joint and it's hurting the joint. It says the objective, this study examined homemade masks as an alternative to commercial face masks. Several household materials were evaluated for the capacity to block bacterial and viral aerosols 21 healthy volunteers made their own face masks from cotton t-shirts. The masks that were then tested for fit. The number of microorganisms isolated from coughs of healthy volunteers wearing the homemade mask, a surgical mask, or no mask at all was compared using several air sampling techniques. The results was the median fit factor of the homemade masks was 1/2 that of the surgical masks. Both masks significantly reduced the number of microorganisms expelled by volunteers, although the surgical mask was 3 times more effective in blocking transmission than the homemade mask. Conclusion: our findings suggest that a homemade mask should only be considered as a last resort to prevent droplet transmission from infected individuals, but it would be better than no protection. So that bottoms it for me and for you lot. And then someone also said, just very quickly, coffee filter paper and vacuum bags, because vacuum bags stop the muck from getting through. They filter the dirt. So use a vacuum. Get not an old vacuum bag. God no. Get a new vacuum bag that you've got spare. Cut it up and use that. So there's 2 possibilities. So, and Karen R had said use vacuum bags. So that's one of the reasons why I went the long way around. Brigitte Logue said, we are in lockdown in Oregon. I'm okay with that. I have plenty of time to sew. I think we all have plenty of time to sew. It's just trying to decide if you should be sewing things for yourself or doing something else. Because if you sew for yourself, when are we going to wear them if we're going to be on lockdown for such a long time? However, I do insist on getting dressed when I get up, and every now and again I put a bit of makeup on because it just makes me feel much better than sitting around in pyjamas, which I don't do. I've never ever done, sitting around in pyjamas and not having makeup on. So you will have seen me with no makeup on a few times, but most of the time I generally like to put a little bit of something on. Rinda's Relics says, you two are so cute and you keep things upbeat during all that's going on. You've got to keep upbeat, because if you don't, you can run yourself down in the ground. And as I actually told one lady, I know it's serious. I know that we've got to take everything serious. And yes, I'm abiding by the rules. And when we go for walks, we go for a long walk away. We're allowed to go for walks. The government allows you to go for walks, but only from your home. And I'm doing that. So I'm quite happy about keeping away from people. However, this morning I was just looking at my let me just have a look at my watch, because it tells me how many steps I've done. And so far, just gadding about this house backwards and forwards, because I don't sit down for very often. I go and do my ironing in my little shed, in my little what do you call it? Something of solitude. God, my memory's going. My something of solitude. I do my ironing in there, then I come in here, then I go upstairs and get the washing, then I come back down, then I go and do something in the conservatory, then I go into, and so the toing and froing, I've actually done 2,500 steps, so I'm quite chuffed with myself, not needing to do exercise because I'm toing and froing every time. And I actually have a high step to get into my little what's it of solitude, my little fortress. I have to go up quite a steep step to get into my fortress of solitude. So that's like doing step-ups all the time. I have to go down a step and up a step, down a step and up a step, down a step and up a step. God knows what I'm going to be like when I'm another 5 or 7 years older, but never mind. I'm wearing, it's not a made thing. It's a fleece, got a lovely pull there, but it's a pink fleece that I got with wide sleeves. There is a pattern that's very similar to this, but I got this a few weeks back when we were going to the designer outlet, which is near to Brian's mother's house, and this was £5. And I thought, well, I can't I can't even make it for £5. So I figured I'd get this, and it comes on when I get a bit cold. I don't wear pajamas, but I do wear this sometimes just to go over the top of whatever I'm wearing. Really desperate to get my hair cut, but as you know, not able to. My next door neighbour's a hairdresser, but I can't really ask her to do it because we're not allowed to socialise. Anyway, knowing me, I'll probably get the scissors and start hacking at my own hair. Hope I don't do that. I hate it when I do that. I have done that before, so fingers crossed I don't do that. My son said, oh, and I don't know if you're the same, but we are toing and froing with little jokes that one person sends to me, so I pass it on to Jenny Flake, I pass it on to my kids, I pass it on to another friend, I pass it on to my sister, and then somebody else sends another one, so we laugh at it, and then we pass that on. Oh, somebody was saying that Wilko, this is for the people in the UK, Wilko are still delivering at the moment, and they do wallpaper, paint and decorating accessories. They also have a garden section too. Tops look lovely, by the way. I can't remember which reference. That was the video where Brian was cooking his scones. So, and then I keep looking at my hair, and this bit, I haven't used straighteners on my hair, which if I did, they would look a lot better. But I have a wild piece here. Do you know, ever since, I don't know when it is, about 8 or 10 years, no, not even 8 or 10 years ago, 8 years ago, my hair used to be quite straight. It used to be like the back is. And all of a sudden, this side bit has gone very fluffy. That one's not so bad, but it's gone very fluffy on one side, almost as if now a friend of mine had chemotherapy and she had straight hair, and when after the chemotherapy, her hair went curly, it went frizzy like this in certain places, and I feel just like I've had a dose of chemotherapy. No, I shouldn't say that, that's awful. Anyway, it's gone all fluffy, and I just can't, unless I use my straighteners, I can't do anything, but it's irritating me. So if you see me fussing on my hair, it's not to make me look nice, it's just that I'm thinking, bloody hell, excuse my language, that's awful. Anyway, so Wilko is delivering. That's quite good. Hello from Mississauga, Canada. Mississauga, Canada. Well, the other thing I was saying, I was telling Practical Stitches because she emailed me and said that she was feeling quite down because she was on her own in Nova Scotia. And I was telling her that I do a lot of engraving plates for people from all different countries. I get orders from Finland, Spain, Portugal, France, you name it. And I keep thinking, well, can't they get these plates from their own country? And whenever I get them, as I'm doing their addresses to print the label for their addresses, I often go on Google Maps to find out where they live, because it looks, I think, oh, I wonder whereabouts it is. And then I zoom right into where the street is, and then as I'm zooming out, I'm thinking, golly, that's miles and miles away from the main towns or whatever. So Mississauga, Mississauga, Mississauga. I'm gonna look that up, Alice. Hello from Mississauga. If there's one thing if there's one thing you're not boring, I hope not, because I wouldn't want you to turn me off. Oh, and I've chopped my hair a bit, and that doesn't look so very good. Anyway, your videos are so entertaining. You're natural and fun. Like you, I don't worry about what I can't control. Hope you and your family stay safe. Yes. I'm at the risk of repeating myself. I'm doing what I'm told to do. I'm not going out shopping. We're actually going out on Saturday to pick up our shopping, but it's one of those pick-up services. And the minute we get back, he insists, as we're driving, he says, don't touch your face, don't touch your face. And when we get back, the hands are washed, everything's washed. Any post that comes through the door is washed, as I've mentioned before, is sprayed rather. And, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And I hate to say this, I know Brian would love to live forever. I have no intentions of living forever, because I have always said to him, the day I am sat in a chair with my head hung down and my bottom lip dribbling, and I can't do anything, I don't want to be here. But And what I was saying to him is, I can understand. We've had much as I don't want it to happen, if they have one ventilator and two people, and one's an 18-year-old and one's a 69-year-old who's almost on their way out. Much, if even it was my mother, I would be so gutted. But give it to the young person who's got a life. That's me. That's my philosophy. He doesn't like it. He says, "Well, I want to live forever," and I say, "Yeah, but if it's at the detriment of a younger person, I've seen my life." So, as I say, I'm very, very matter of fact, and it might annoy people, it might not, but my glass is always half full and never half empty. And my mother used to say, my mother was dying of cancer, and she was a half empty person. She used to, when she got breast cancer, and I remember one day she sat there and she said, she said, "I've never done anything nasty to anybody," and she said, and she also had, what do you call it? Macular degeneration in her eyes. So apparently she reckoned it was like looking through trees. Her eyesight was like looking through trees. And I hope to God I don't get that, because that would stop me from sewing. But I remember her sitting one day and she says, "I've never done anything wrong to anybody, and it's so unfair that I've got cancer and your dad hasn't got anything like that." And I said, "Yeah, Mum, I understand that, but I said, I said, you were one of 11 sisters and brothers, and I said, you're the last one. You're the one that's been going, out of all of them. You're still here. So, you've done better than the rest of your family." And she said, "Yes, but your dad's dabbled with mercury, he's dabbled with all sorts of chemicals, he's done this, that and the other, and he's still going strong." And it's true, but he's from a different, what I call tribe. He's from a different tribe, and even he succeeded his father, who was 76 when he died. And my father died at 93. My father beat his brother, who was 80. So, you've got to put things in perspective. But my mum was a glass half empty, and my dad was a glass half full. You could throw all sorts at him, and he would still come out thinking, well, something's good. And I remember every time we used to pick him up once a fortnight to go and take him out for a meal, because he lived 60 miles away, and we used to go out up on the Saturday and pick him up and then take him out for a meal. And the minute we picked him up, he'd say, "Well, I had a good sleep last night. I only woke up once, and I watched the Open University for an hour on the television. And then when I woke up, I had pain, so I took a paracetamol. And then," he said, "I got up and I woke up." No, he said, "And when I woke up, I was so pleased because I am still here and not down there. But I am in a lot of pain, but I took a paracetamol and I waited half an hour and I am fine. And I have had a good morning." I think he was always such a positive person. It didn't matter. As I say, you could throw all sorts at him, but he always found a positive out of it. And I'm very similar. I always try to find a positive. And it's very hard to tell someone who can't find positives the reasoning why I'm like that and why you're like that, because as I say, it's tough. It's tough out there, and it's going to get tougher. So so anyway, so I am a glass half full, and I am just thankful for my lot, really, and I'm absolutely loving being here, not working. There's also Seaside Mom, who I have found out your name is Lauren, Seaside Mom. So it's lovely to know that I can call you Lauren now. And she was saying, if you go to Simplify Fabric, that's SIMPLIFI fabric.com, they have a blog post with pictures and lots of free patterns available to encourage the sewers in lockdown to fire up their sewing machines and get sewing to pass the time. She's downloaded a couple of them and they're fine. So I'm going to head over to simplifyfabric.com. I'll probably put it up there and I'll put it down below for you to know where to go to. And here's the man with a plan. He's coming down the stairs. Is that a week of lockdown beard?
Yeah, it's principally down to complete laziness when I get up on a morning. But it's got to stop because it's itching.
Oh, yes,
I'm at
yes.
the itchy stage, and I keep thinking I've got fleas, but I've not. It's just a...
Oh,
Do you want
God.
to have a close look?
Oh, it's grey as well, yeah.
So the grey bit indicates the age.
Age, yes, getting old.
The advancing years.
The advancing years, yeah.
With the stoop back and the shuffled walk. Oh, hello.
You've got that to come yet.
Yes.
If we're still vlogging by the time we're 70, 80, you know, you'll be getting us doing it. We'll be like, it's lovely to see you.
Hello.
Hello. We're still in lockdown. We don't know when it's finished. So anyway, I'm going to finish there. I think I've 17 minutes I've waffled on. So I shall catch you tomorrow. Bye.